Pre-independence India was a massive, emerging nation starving for power. Relying on coal and oil monopolies meant permanent dependence on foreign powers. In 1944, physicist Dr. Homi J. Bhabha wrote to the Tata Trust with a radical alternative: bypass fossil fuels entirely and invest in nuclear research. This diagram outlines his audacious three-stage nuclear power program. The strategy uses India's modest natural uranium to eventually reach its massive thorium reserves. In Stage 1, natural uranium is consumed inside pressurized heavy water reactors, generating a vital byproduct, plutonium-239. Bhabha designed this closed fuel cycle as a geopolitical survival manual, engineering a path to guarantee absolute energy sovereignty for centuries. With the full backing of Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, the newly formed Department of Atomic Energy moved aggressively to execute this blueprint. During a brief window of global cooperation, Asia's first reactor, Apsara, went critical. Soon after, the CIRUS reactor became operational, producing the first batches of Indian plutonium. Then, tragedy struck. In January 1966, a commercial airliner crashed into the French Alps. Dr. Bhabha was on board. In an instant, the nation's scientific leadership was gone. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai stepped in to take the helm of the Atomic Energy Commission, working to keep the orphaned project from collapsing. The loss of its chief architect left the program exposed. At the same time, regional security threats mounted rapidly, forcing the government to shift the program's focus from peaceful electricity generation to strategic military deterrence. In May 1974, an underground test codenamed Smiling Buddha shook the Thar Desert. The detonation proved the country possessed the precise plutonium capability required to execute a nuclear explosion. The retaliation from Western nations was immediate and severe. They cut off all technological collaboration and halted all nuclear fuel trade. The international community even formed the Nuclear Suppliers Group, an organization with the foundational mandate to choke off India's nuclear ambitions. Facing a total embargo, Indian scientists had to adapt. They doubled down on the pressurized heavy water reactor design because it runs on natural, domestically mined uranium, bypassing the need for foreign enriched fuel. The global effort to suffocate the program backfired, inadvertently creating the crucible that forged true Atmanirbharta, or self-reliance. Deep in isolation, the state constructed the massive Dhruva research reactor at the Bhabha Atomic Research Center entirely on its own. Because it was built without foreign assistance, Dhruva operated free from international monitoring. It became the primary engine for generating weapon-grade plutonium. But by May 1998, Indian military personnel and scientists were tracking the precise orbits of CIA satellites. Moving equipment only when the skies were clear, they successfully conducted 5 underground tests, including a thermonuclear device. The weaponization of these devices and their missile delivery systems was finalized under the leadership of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. The following year, the government outlined its draft nuclear doctrine. It established a strict no-first-use policy, anchoring the nation's defense on the concept of credible minimum deterrence. Detonating a hydrogen bomb while entirely cut off from the world established India as a nuclear weapon state, initiating a complex decade of diplomacy needed to eventually dismantle the global sanctions regime. The diplomatic deep freeze finally thawed with the 2008 NSG waiver. The agreement allowed the country to re-enter global nuclear trade, despite never signing the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Decades of outdated domestic laws were then swept away by the 2025 Shanti Bill. By replacing the restrictive 1962 Act, the legislation opened the nuclear grid to private sector participation and foreign direct investment. Treaties and laws cleared the political red tape, but the ultimate victory still required executing the most difficult engineering challenge hidden inside Bhabha's 80-year-old blueprint. That challenge came to a head in April 2026 at the Kalkakam facility, home to the 500-megawatt prototype fast breeder reactor. This schematic illustrates first criticality. Inside the core, plutonium-239 reacts with a blanket of thorium, actively converting it into a new fissile material, uranium-233. This signifies official entry into Stage 2, making India the only country besides Russia to operate a commercial fast breeder reactor. Achieving Stage 2 criticality fulfills Bhabha's 1944 mandate. It proves that India utilized decades of scientific exile to secure the technological autonomy required for its future energy needs.